happens when you say nitrogen monoxide way to the most important person in the entire universe. I'll tell you what happens. You get the biggest, wettest, fishiest time out in the history of the world. This is the story of a man who tried to run away from his problems and ended up in the belly of a beast. Stick around, because you are not going to believe this. And hey, if you love crazy stories, smash that like button and subscribe right now so you don't miss our next adventure. Okay, so let's meet our guy. His name was Jonah. Jonah was a pretty normal dude, but he had a very important friend, God. One day, God called him up. Jonah, my man, I have a super-duper important job for you. Jonah was all ears. I'm listening. God said, I need you to go to the giant city of Nineveh. The people there have been acting like total stinkers. I mean, they don't share, and they're just being big ol' bullies. I need you to go tell them to stop it. Jonah's face fell. Nineveh, those guys were famous for being grumpy and unkind. He did not want to go there. What if they were mean to him? So Jonah did what some of us do when we have to do something we don't want to do, like cleaning our room. He decided to run away. He didn't just run down the streets, oh no. Jonah ran to the ocean and found a big wooden boat. Where are you going? Jonah asked the captain. To Tarshish, said the captain. The farthest place you can imagine. Perfect. Jonah thought. Nineveh was east. Tarshish was way west. God would never find him there. He paid his money, hopped on the ship, and went down to the very bottom to take a nice long nap. He was super pleased with himself. But you can't really hide from God, can you? As soon as Jonah fell asleep, God saw where he was. He didn't get angry, but he knew Jonah needed to learn a lesson. So he took a deep breath and whoosh! He sent a mighty wind across the sea. The sky turned dark gray. The waves grew into giant, watery mountains. Crash! The little boat was tossed back and forth like a bath toy. The sailors were terrified. They were expert sailors, but they had never seen a storm like this. They cried out, the gods must be angry with one of us. Meanwhile, where was Jonah? He was snoring. Can you believe it? The captain found him and shook him awake. Hey, how can you be sleeping? Get up and pray to your God. Maybe he can save us. But the storm only got worse. The sailors decided to play a game to find out whose fault it was. And guess who the game pointed to? Yes, Jonah. Jonah's face turned white. He knew. It was all his fault. It's me, he said quietly. I'm running away from my God, the one who made the land and the sea. If you want the storm to stop, you have to throw me into the water. The sailors didn't want to, but the ship was starting to break apart. So they closed their eyes, said they were sorry, and 1, 2, 3 curse sploosh. They tossed Jonah into the raging, stormy sea. Instantly the wind stopped, the waves calmed down, the sun peeked through the clouds. Everything was peaceful again. But what about Jonah? He was sinking down, down, down into the deep, dark water. It was the end, or was it? Just when Jonah thought he was a goner. God sent a special delivery. It wasn't a boat. It wasn't a submarine. It was a great big fish. So big it could swallow a school bus for a snack. The fish swam right up to Jonah, opened its gigantic mouth, and gulp! Swallowed him whole. Jonah found himself sitting in the belly of the fish. It was dark, it was slimy, and it probably smelled like stinky socks and old seaweed. Every time the fish burped, the whole ocean seemed to shake. For 3 whole days and 3 whole nights, Jonah sat inside that fishy belly. It was the ultimate timeout chair. And in there, all alone in the dark, Jonah had a lot of time to think. He realized he couldn't run from God. He realized he had been silly and stubborn. He realized that saying I'm sorry was the only thing left to do. So he prayed. God, I'm sorry. You were right. I was wrong. Please give me another chance. I'll do whatever you want. God heard his prayer. He turned to the giant fish and said, okay, mission accomplished. You can let him out now. The giant fish swam right up to the shore of, you guessed it, Nineveh. It opened its mouth and with a giant, slobbery, it spat Jonah right out onto the sandy beach. Jonah, covered in fish goo but safe and sound, looked up. He knew what he had to do. He marched right into Nineveh and told everyone to be kinder, just like God had asked. And you know what? They listened. The whole city said they were sorry, and God was happy with them. So the next time you think about running away from a problem, remember Jonah. You can't outrun your problems. And you definitely can't hide in a fish forever. It's always better to face your fears and do the right thing. What a wild ride! If you thought that was an awesome story, hit that like key button until it turns blue and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because we have so many more incredible adventures to share with you. See you next time!